So in the last few days alone, we've seen Spark hit exchanges. We've also seen it open way lower than anticipated. We've seen it plummet to all-time lows, and now we're seeing it sprout back up like Jack the Beanstalk. So what's so important that you need to watch this video before you do anything with your Sparklet? Well, there's a few key points that I want to talk about. First is the token generation event. Second is the current trading price of Spark. Third is the snapshot. And fourth is the farming pool. There's a lot to go into, so make sure to stay to the end. So starting with the token generation event, or as Upland calls it, the TGE, this event is rewarding players who have bought Spark from Spark sales with millions of free Spark. I am one of those users, and I received about 25,200 free Sparklet from this. Though Upland doesn't mention why they're hosting this token generation event, we can safely assume it's because of the listing price of Spark. I mean, Upland isn't trying to financially ruin its own investors, right? Anyways, I think this was a way to help compensate for the opening price of the token. Though I don't think they expected it to drop even lower to 3 cents. I think they were expecting it to go up in price because it opened so low. But yeah, I mean, it opening so low caused a wave of panic selling. We'll talk about that in a different video. So yeah, this TGE pool holds about 3.5 million Sparklet. And well, assuming that some of the Sparklet is naturally going to hit the markets, this recovery period that we're seeing might not last that long. It did need to be staked in Upland for 3 days first, and then there's another 48 hours for it to be bridged out of Upland. So there's roughly 5 days after Sparklet goes live that users will have until they'll be able to sell their TGE Spark. The second point to consider, Sparklet is currently trading at 6 cents. Yesterday it was trading at 3 cents, and that's a 100% increase from the previous day. Naturally, anyone who was going to sell the day before might have waited because the price dropped quite a bit lower than I think anyone was expecting. I know there's a few guys in Discord that said they predicted the price, but I mean, could you really predict that the price would go down to 3 cents? Anyways, there's likely a lot of people holding their Spark still waiting to sell it because the price dipped pretty low. Not everyone got to join the wave of panic selling, unfortunately. There was a lot of hiccups trying to get people's Spark out to the exchanges in the first place. And yes, prices have recovered. I mean, maybe a little too well if I'm being quite frank. There was a post on X made by an account called ZKE where they mentioned that Spark looked a little low and maybe by the drop. So who knows if this had any influence on the price of Spark. I mean, if it did, well, I mean, kudos to Spark holders, I guess. And now at least without the immense selling pressure, users are a bit more comfortable holding the token in the long run. Yeah, so for every Sparklet a player had already purchased, they received their proportional reward from the 3% TGE pool on TGE day, on the token exchange listing day. Upland will take a snapshot on the day of the TGE. For the next 3 seasons, they will make 2 drops each season, giving players Sparklet who held their Sparklet inside of Upland throughout all of these events. So your current Sparklet count is the number that's taken for the snapshot. They don't mention when these snapshots are taken, but if your Sparklet balance is lower for whatever reason, the lower number will be used for these calculations. This is to ensure that players are awarded fairly for their Sparklet that they kept inside of Upland. Additionally, you can get even more Sparklet by attaining a higher multiplier during the gamified earnings missions for each season. I'll just post a chart up here. I won't go into too much more detail about it. Moreover, by bridging in at least 500 net Sparklet during each season, you will get an additional 0.25x multiplier on your Sparklet reward. Lastly, let's talk about the farming pools. There's over 18 million Sparklet in these pools. Naturally though, a lot of the Sparklet came in while the prices were dipping pretty low. My safe assumption is that a lot of these holders are in it for the long haul. They weren't panic selling when the price was dropping, and they aren't panic selling now when the price is coming back up. Now granted, you can argue the same point as our previous, that maybe these users are waiting for a price recovery. Except, I still beg to differ. A lot of these users are just looking for the free Sparklet. They're not too antiquated about the price. As well, for all the users who were waiting to sell because the price dipped too low, everyone in their minds has a different price target. Now, if one guy was just happy at 4 cents, then he'll sell at 4 cents, and if another guy might be happier, maybe waiting till 7 cents, and he'll wait till 7 cents. Not everyone is also going to flood out of the market all at the same time. Seeing the price come crashing down, yeah, panic selling ensues. Seeing the price go skyrocketing back up, well, FOMO comes in. People start panic buying instead of panic selling. Anyways, that's it for this video, and we'll see you in the next one.